Right, I have here the SF24 Lego model that was part of the big release that Lego did with Formula 1 like last month, I think it was. I have gotten the SF24. It was a late birthday present for my brother. Thank you, Jimmy. So, I'm gonna build it, and we're just gonna yabber on about Formula 1. Oh, shit. Oh my god, on the inside of the instruction manual for building it, it has like the home base of the team. Some people would probably sort these bits into like, God, one bit, other bit, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna crack on with this and talk about Formula 1. First of all, Bahrain Grand Prix. Holy shit, Piastri was good. Frankly, he was the best McLaren driver of the weekend, in my personal opinion. And I mean, that shows, because he got the win. I mean, that's him now on 2 race wins this year. Both wins have been bloody good, in my honest opinion. Could this be Piastri starting a bit of a title challenge? It very well could be, honestly. What bits am I looking for? I need that. This is probably why people would sort these bits out, so they can find the bits they need easier. Just continue talking about Piastri here for a second. He really has stepped it up this year. Really just made that step. His qualifying has been on point so far this season. It's been so bloody good. Is it these little bits here? Yes, it is. There's one on either side. I'm guessing there's going to be another one right there. And really, last year, I mean, the qualifying was one area where Oscar was kind of needed to improve, if you know what I mean. And this year he has. His race pace has been on point. He could be mounting a title challenge. Honestly, if he is, fucking more power to him, I'm backing him. Providing Ferrari don't have a chance. We all know I'm a Ferrari fan. But regardless, what else am I looking for? I need 2 black bits. Is it these bits? Yeah, it is these bits. And like Bahrain kind of just set in stone that right now there is kind of like, it's not Formula 1 as much as it's Formula McLaren, Formula 1, and then Formula midfield. Formula McLaren is where you're gonna find McLaren hanging around. Formula 1 is where you're gonna find, you know, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and then Formula midfield is where you find the rest of them. They're scrapping around in the midfield, where there's always something going on. And really, the thing that's like kind of getting me about how good McLaren were in Bahrain, I mean, okay, the gap maybe wasn't as big in the race to end up with as some maybe thought it could be, perhaps. But the thing that gets me about McLaren's win in Bahrain and like how good they were is the fact that historically Bahrain hasn't been the best track for McLaren historically. And it was very much their track this time. What bit am I looking for here? A great bit of one. These little buggers here. But I hope the camera angle's okay. I'm running on the assumption that it looked okay when I set it up. But these bits go next to the black bits, and then these bad boys go next to those. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Bahrain, McLaren. Norris, quite frankly, been a little bit of a messy weekend. It wasn't outright terrible. I mean, he still got a podium, which is always a good result, and it was good for his ambitions of trying to win a championship. I mean, he is the championship leader. He is still leading the championship. Him getting past Leclerc and getting that 3rd place is kind of made him still be in the championship lead, because I mean, if he hadn't gotten past Leclerc and Leclerc had hung on to that P3, then Piastri and Norris would have been tied on points, and Piastri would have been ahead on countback of having one more win than Norris. Oh my god, get on the thing. Wait, do these bits go? Yeah, these bits go here. Why aren't you go? How do these bits go on? I think they're meant to stick out a little bit. I think they're meant to be. There we go, got there in the end with one, and now I just have to get another one. There we go. I mean, right now it is definitely looking like it could be McLaren's year, going off of the first 4 races, but I mean, there's still a long season to go. You know, we've had 4 races, we still have 20 left. It's a long time for things to change. There's that change coming in with the Flexi Wing in Barcelona, which is still a few races away, but in reality it's really not that far away, because it's like the beginning of June is Barcelona, and we're already in mid-April. What bits am I looking for? I'm looking for them slanty bits. The 1, 2, I need 2. This is why people sort bits, probably. There's the other one. We got there until I found it. I need 2 more of those little square bits. I only put 2 on. I need to put a second one on the inside outer one of the round bits. But yeah, McLaren versus McLaren is what it looks like at the moment for the championship. This is like me hoping that McLaren will give equal opportunity to both drivers, you know, in terms of winning and fighting for the championship. I hope they won't prefer one over the other, because I mean right now if it gets to a point where other drivers start to get involved and one driver is in a better position than another, then I could see the sense in backing one driver over the other. That would make perfect sense and would be expected. But at the moment, but as of right now, I hope that they just let their drivers race, let them sort things out, and don't go preferential treatment yet. That piece goes on the bottom there. Then I need there's an arch piece that's right here. These bits I need, and they will go somewhere on here. They attach onto the back here. Nope, other way. Helps if I put them on the right way. It's always annoying when you put a piece in the wrong way. I mind when I was building the MCL60 that I got for Christmas from my dad. Like, I did that when I was building the MCL60. It took me so long to figure out what I'd done wrong. It was with the rear wing. It wasn't going on properly with the wheels. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Then I finally got it on. Like, oh, that's what I did wrong, and a piece just came off. Oopsie daisies. Back you go. Anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? I was turning the page. We need to turn the page and put this on here. That goes in there. And now I need two triangular small red bits that are right here. And they go on the outer corner of the black roundy things. But yeah, McLaren. Frankly, Oscar Piastri was amazing in Bahrain. He was pretty good in Japan as well. It's a shame that McLaren didn't really let them race. Or, well, Piastri wasn't given that chance to go past and, like, try for a move against Verstappen, or try to close up to him. Maybe he could have, maybe he couldn't have, God knows. But, I mean, what if, would have, could have, should have stuff right now, you know. That's going on these bits are going on the very end, and I nearly dropped to that. But yeah, Piastri, brilliant weekend. We barely saw him in the race. That's how good his race was. Norris, he got there in the end and getting past Leclerc, which is a nice segue into talking about Ferrari, because we're building a Ferrari. Where is the bit I need? There's the bit I need. So let's talk about Ferrari. And I want to start by throwing some praise the way of the pit crew. Because, oh my god, they've been on point this year. 4 races, 4 fastest pit stops. Both drivers in the top 10 of the fastest pit stop championship in every race so far. Round of applause to Ferrari's pit crew, honestly. What do I need? I'm looking for that bit, which goes here. And then there's a white square that goes on top of that. I need the steering wheel as well. The steering wheel goes on the top. It's in second gear. The steering wheel has a number 2 on it. Don't drop it. I don't know how well you can see that. There's a 2 on the steering wheel. What am I doing next? What are we doing next? We need this piece that way up, and we need 2 of these? Anyway, what was I talking about? We were talking about Ferrari, of course. The piece is on the floor. The piece is not on the floor. The piece is now going on the Lego model. Yeah, no, Ferrari. Hamilton was a freaking anonymous this weekend, quite frankly. He was kind of just there. He really needs to get on top of his qualifying form, really. I mean, I kind of agree with something Davide Valsecchi said. Like, have we ever seen Lewis being that far off the pace of his teammate in qualifying? Just like standard, no issues, no big issues, just slow. You know, it was like half a second behind Leclerc in qualifying in the end, which is a freaking crazy when you consider it's Lewis Hamilton who has the most poles of anybody in Formula 1. However, Bahrain is typically one of Leclerc's strongest tracks. He's always been pretty decent in Bahrain. I mean, for example, Formula 2 2017. He sets pole position, and then he finishes third in the feature race, gives him a P6 start in the sprint race, which he takes the lead up early on. He pulls out a 9.5 second lead, pits from that, comes out 14th, overtakes everybody and wins the race. He's always been good in Bahrain. Frankly, I would have been surprised if Leclerc wasn't there in Bahrain. What am I looking for? I am looking for one bit, and I'm looking for that bit, and we need one. Is it this bit? Yeah, that bit. And we need... Okay, the stickers are always fun. We need 17. The stickers are, I swear, the most annoying part of these Lego builds. Okay, how is this going on? The piece... I will warn you, none of these stickers will be on straight. Absolutely none of them. That's not even in the right position. Let's try this with the other hand, which should be interesting, because I'm trying to put this on with my left hand, and I am right-handed. On you go, that's annoyingly not straight. I said none of them must be straight, but if they could be straight to an extent, that will do quite nicely. And that goes... I had to build this, I had to put this on the model. Hang on, this had to be built on the model. Hang on, I messed up a little bit. I was supposed to put, before I put those black bits on, I was supposed to put this on the model. Okay, this goes on the freaking Lego model, then the black bits go on. That makes more sense than whatever the hell I was doing. And then this goes... Oh, the black bit goes on after I've put this bit on here. And then this black bit will go on... Okay, we're getting somewhere. What was I speaking about? I got distracted. Ferrari. They're still Ferrari, quite frankly. They're something, they're somewhere, they're getting there slowly. Said that the upgrade is an improvement. It is a step forward, but I mean, maybe not the best circuit to see it. I think it was Bahrain. Saudi might be able to see a bit more what it does. Ferrari are getting there slowly, but they have some catching up to do. Frankly, everybody has some catching up to do. The closest one is George Russell. We'll get onto Mercedes in a minute. Frankly, Leclerc, really, he's a candidate for driver of the day. Lewis won driver of the day. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what he did. He did go forward from 9th or wherever it was he started to 5th, so that is good. But Leclerc, candidate for driver of the day, in my opinion. Oscar as well could have been a good candidate because he freaking dominated. And the reason why I'm saying Leclerc candidate is because that he put up a brilliant defense against Norris. Really, ignoring the final result, the fact that Norris did get past him, then Leclerc did still put up a brilliant defense against him. Because think about it, Norris really should have gone past Leclerc sooner than he did. But he just couldn't get by him any sooner. Because first of all, the restart between those two and Hamilton was a little bit messy. And then Leclerc was just placing the car in the right place. And he was able to hold off Norris for quite a while. Really, in a slower car, on worse tires, the hard tires were shit. Apparently Ferrari did want to go medium soft. But then, of course, the safety car kind of ruined that. Russell made the soft work. I don't think Ferrari thought they could have, so they had to go hard. Then apparently starting on the soft was never an option for them because their data on the soft, it wasn't good. They maximized the result they got the result they could get. You know, and really sometimes that's just all you have to do. You just have to kind of get the result you can get and just run with it, you know? Where's the other triangle? That's the triangle I need. And this will go on this side of the thing. Talking about Red Bull now, really, oh my god, Bahrain. If it could go wrong for them in Bahrain, it did. Jesus Christ, I need another fucking sticker, Jesus. What number am I looking for? I'm looking for number 8. Where is 8? Don't say after 7. Or before 9. Where is this going? It's going at the front here. What am I looking for? The grabby bits, the hooky bits. They must be for the wing mirrors? I mean, I guess these little bits, I'm guessing that these little bits here are for the wing mirrors because they're going right by the steering wheel. It would make sense if that's what the wing mirrors would attach to. I put that on the wrong way. It needs to be 90 degrees the other way. But yeah, Red Bull. Have Ferrari and Red Bull swapped pit crews or something? Because good lord, for Red Bull's pit stops were not good. That's something traditionally Ferrari are known for, is bad pit stops. But now their pit stops have been on point, and Red Bull were having a ton of pit stop gremlins. I'm pretty sure the I saw this morning, I think it was Daniel Valente posted on Twitter about how the 3 slowest pit stops in Bahrain, non-penalty slowest pit stops, were all Red Bull. Like, they did not have a very good time. Imagine telling someone a year ago after the Bahrain Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen won by 22 seconds and Red Bull finished 1-2, that 1 year later, Max Verstappen would be finishing 6th, 34 seconds off the lead, and Red Bull and themselves would be 6th and 9th in the end. Over 30 seconds off the lead. Imagine telling someone that a year ago. They'd have laughed in your bloody face. What do we need? We need to put this in the back end. This goes in the back end, but not before I put this through, this little bugger through it. That must be an axle for the wheels or something. That goes through the hole. No, this little bit needs to be in the middle. I'm an idiot. Okay, this will be fun. Line it up. Get it in the hole. Yes, we're through. We're nearly through. We are through. We're good. That bit's in, and then we just have one more bit, then I think we're nearly the next bag, which is fun. What do I need? I need a square. I need I need a rounded bit, a rounded 2-piece that goes there. And then we need this. Nope, is the other one, is the other way. This one. This bit goes onto there. This attaches to the rear side of, I think I built that the wrong way. No, I put this on the wrong side. It attaches on there. I need to do this twice. And then I think there's one more bit, and then we're on to the next bag. 2 more bits, actually. These go there. Nice! Bags 1 and 2 are done and dusted, and we have something that resembles something. It's slowly starting to look like an F1 car. We're getting there slowly. But yeah, if it could go wrong for Red Bull, it did go wrong in Bahrain. And for Max, I mean, the pit stops were crap. He was like complaining about low grip. The brakes, I think he was complaining about. I'm pretty sure he complained about anything and everything in that race. And he wasn't having a good time. He was having a really, really bad time in Bahrain. And this kind of leads me on to something I saw after the race. Apparently take this for what you will, Helmut Marko got asked after the race how big the fear was of the risk of Max leaving Red Bull, and he said the fear is big. That needs to go that way around, and then it attaches onto the front end of this. No? Back end. It attaches onto the back end of this. And honestly, it's one of the things that take for what you will because it's coming out of the mouth of Helmut Marko, but I actually agree with him. I do actually agree that the risk of Max leaving Red Bull, is it a 3-piece? Yes, it's a 3-piece I need. The risk of Max leaving Red Bull is pretty freaking big. I put that on the wrong bit, and that needs to go one further back. I know we're all freaking done to death of hearing about the risk of Max leaving Red Bull, but frankly, the chance is there that he could just up and leave Red Bull. The chance is there, and it's not going to go away. That's not the bit I need. I need this. I need four of these little buggers. 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. I need 2 little angular bits that are here and here, and then I need 2 of these little roundy bits. Max very well could leave. Apparently there's a clause, again, take this for what you will, there's a clause in his contract that he could leave Red Bull if he falls outside the top 3 in the championship at like a significant point of the season or something. For us, we're not really at a significant point of the season, we're still early doors. I mean, if you wanted to activate the clause, providing that it's true that he has this clause, then it would need to be later in the season. I think that he would need to be kind of outside the top 3 in the championship to activate the clause and leave. Am I putting that on the right place? Where am I putting this on? How am I putting this on? That goes on there. Does it go on? Yeah, I think it goes on like that. I think I'm doing this right. I feel like until Red Bull can prove that they're kind of getting themselves, like the rumors of Max leaving and Max maybe leaving and going to another team or be tempted away. Those rumors are not going to go away until Red Bull can prove that, oh, they're fine, he'll be fine staying, you know? Because Red Bull, I very much could see Max in a Mercedes or an Aston Martin. You know what I mean? Aston Martin, I don't know how long the contracts are of the Aston Martin drivers. I think Alonso's out of contract at the end of next year. Stroll, I have no idea what his contract looks like. I don't think anybody does. Well, mind you, his dad owns the team, so God knows how long his contract is. But meanwhile, Mercedes, both drivers are out of contract at the end of this year. You know, neither driver is signed for 2026 yet. It wouldn't surprise me to see Mercedes keep both drivers for next year, because so far they've been doing bloody good, the Mercedes boys. They have been doing pretty freaking good this year. You know, there's no reason for... So far, George Russell's not shown any reason why Toto should get rid of him. Kimi Antonelli hasn't shown any reason why he shouldn't be given another year, because he's had a really good start that just came off. I cannot remember where he finished in Bahrain. I don't think he got points. But that bit's just gone rolling across the desk. But regardless, he scored in the first 3 races. He's had a solid start, you know, and there's a long season to go. Would you get on the thing? He's had a solid start, and he hasn't given any reason as to why he shouldn't be given another season. You know, I could see them both getting re-signed, and I could see Max giving Red Bull a shot for 26, but if Red Bull don't deliver for 26, then I think he might leave. And that's where I think the Aston Martin thing could come in. That's not on tight. But I mean, I could see Max giving Red Bull a shot for 2026, but then beyond that, if Red Bull don't deliver next year, then I think Max could very well leave Red Bull. I'm gonna place my bets on he'd go to Aston Martin, because Aston Martin will have the Honda machinery. They have Adrian Newey. Where's the bit I'm looking for? Again, this is why people probably sort pieces, but I'm not those people. These bits are going on the grey bits I put on earlier. They're gonna have the Honda power. They're gonna have, the freaking. They have Adrian Newey. Max knows the Honda power unit. He knows working with Adrian Newey and his cars. I could very much see Aston Martin getting Max Verstappen if they can prove that they've got something better than what Red Bull can provide him. And you know what, while we're on 26, I'm going to take this opportunity to cut to a voiceover and talk about 2026 a little bit, and the 26 regs and V10s and all that. Cut to the voiceover. Okay, yeah, let's have a period chat about the V10 engines and all that as I'm building this Lego model. So, it seems like not many people seem to be overly confident about it. We've seen in the last couple of days a couple of things that has come from drivers. This is what Sainz said about like the 2026 regulations and V10s and all that, the prospect of V10s and that. In the press conference at this past race in Bahrain, he said, I wouldn't be too vocal about supporting the comeback of a V10 engine if I liked what I saw from 2026. But as I don't like what I really see from 2026 in terms of what the car is going to do, the engine's going to do, the way everything is going to work, I would say yes. I would like a V10 engine with a few tweaks to make it back sooner rather than later. He did also say, it's not fair to not give these regulations a bit of a chance if everybody believes they're so good. But everybody seems to believe that they're not so good anymore. That's why everybody's talking about it again. So a bit of a strange one, no? Let's see where it goes. It's not up to me, it's politics. The big bosses will decide. Leclerc then also got asked about the 26 regs V10s and like Sainz's comments and all that, and then this is what he had to say about it. I can definitely tell you what I think. I think V10 will be great. What I've been seeing for next year is not something that is particularly exciting for me, and I'll say most of us are sharing the same opinion. Maybe some will be more vocal than others for different reasons, but yeah, I think we all agree that V10 will be a much better solution. But yeah, we'll go with what we're told to do, really. So I don't think we have much of a say as drivers in these kinds of discussions. But it's clear that for now, what we're looking at is not great. Not only for racing, but everything, really. In terms of safety, in some cases it's quite tricky, so there are things that I think the FIA will look at, but I still don't know if there's enough time to tackle those things. I think this choice has been made now, and we've got to deal with it in the best possible way. And our goal will be to be as competitive as possible, but yeah, from a driver point of view, it's not that exciting. Lance Stroll also had a bit of a say about this in the press conference, like Sainz had to say in the press conference, Leclerc was just to the media, but this is what Stroll said. Not much more to add, it's all been said. V10s sound good. I think keeping the cars light is important. Light cars are more fun to drive. They've gotten heavy, they've gotten big over the years, so something to keep in mind going forward. Just to interrupt the VO for a minute, this is slowly starting to resemble a Formula 1 car. Ever so slowly, it's resembling an F1 car. Slowly. Well, I saw this as well in an Autosport article when Lewis was asked about the prospect of V10s. He simply said, couldn't care less, mate, to be honest. Short and sweet to the point. I mean, Max Verstappen has been vocal for a while now about, you know, the 2026 regs. Well, Red Bull in general, I think, have been a bit vocal about the 26 regs and the engines, and it not looking great. It does seem like it's not looking great, but it seems like no matter how much people like it or don't like it, we're gonna have to like it or lump it with the 26 regs and the engine and that, because it seems like they're here to stay for the duration that they were originally meant to. They won't be shortened. It looks like, from what I'm seeing, from what came out yesterday, Friday, the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend, it said that although the FIA confirmed that the adoption of normally aspirated engines with sustainable fuel was discussed during the meeting that took place about the whole thing, it ruled out the prospect of changing the incoming V6 hybrid turbo formula in the near future. And the statement said, all parties are committed to the 2026 regulations and look forward to the prospect of exciting racing. Well, we'll have to wait and see how exciting the racing is gonna be, but 26 engine regs are here to stay until they were meant to be changed, it seems. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. I mean, I might see in recently Total Wolf saying that, you know, the sport would look silly to cut the 26 PU regs short, and in a way he has a point. It would look a little bit silly, but I mean, I suppose if it's not looking great, it kind of would also make sense to shorten it. If it's not looking great, there's going to be one team that's going to have a massive advantage if we're going to see another 2014, say. And on seeing another 2014, I saw this, Motorsport magazine put out an article the other day, and I just want to kind of highlight this paragraph from it. The 50-50 electrical internal combustion split decided upon some years ago is turning out to be deeply problematic. As the new formula dawns closer and internal readings have been made regarding where everyone is at, the possibility of there being a huge spread in performance between the various PUs looks very real. Of the 5 manufacturers, one looks to be in good shape. There is a lack of information about another. The biofuel choice made by one, with the other 4 opting for synthetic, is reportedly uncompetitive, and the remaining 2 PUs seem a long way behind. So, of course, as with all the kind of stuff I'm talking about here, take it for what you will. This isn't what I'm seeing. But look, I'm gonna place my bets on which manufacturer I think is which. Because we have Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ford, Honda, and Audi. Those are the 5 manufacturers. The one that looks to be in good shape, I'm going to assume is Mercedes, because that seems to be the word that we've had for freaking months now, is that Mercedes are looking good, or they seem to have something good for the next reg cycle with like the engine and that. So I'm going to guess the one that looks good, that's being in good shape, is Mercedes. The one that there's a lack of information about, I have a feeling that's Audi, because one, we're not hearing much about Audi in the first place right now. We haven't really heard much about them in a while, and they're coming in news, what would make sense to not have a lot of information about that. Then that just leaves Ferrari, Red Bull, Ford, and then Honda. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. The one that's made an uncompetitive biofuel choice, to me, that just screams Ferrari. Because let's be fair, when everybody else turns right, Ferrari take a hard turn to the left and do something completely different that either works or it doesn't work, no in between. So yeah, the one that made the uncompetitive biofuel choice, I'm thinking that's Ferrari. Then the 2 that are a long way behind, that leaves Red Bull, Ford, and Honda. Those are my bets. What are your bets for those kind of areas there? Who do you think is in good shape, lack of information, biofuel choice, long way behind? What are your bets there? Of course, that Motorsport magazine article also said that furthermore, many of the key components of fuels have been homologated, potentially freezing in a very unhealthy competitive spread. But Horner said, speaking to Sky Sport, to Sky F1 on Friday in Bahrain, he he said, you know, dropping into potential unhomologating and stuff like that. This is what he said to Sky Sports. I think inevitably when you get big regulation change, there is performance divergence, and that is almost certain to happen next year. One of the topics on the agenda to talk about this morning was how quickly there can be convergence. We have a budget cap. Perhaps the engines don't need homologating. Perhaps you're able to upgrade your engines under the budget cap. That everybody has the same to encourage convergence as quickly as possible. Because I think we all want to have close quarter racing, not a repeat of what we had in 2014. And that last bit there is, I think, the main bit. Like, I don't think anybody wants a repeat of 2014 where, you know, Mercedes were just miles ahead of the rest. You know, it's like the Bahrain Grand Prix that year, for example. Then there was a safety car kind of late in the race. I believe it was for the, when Maldonado invented Gutierrez Airlines. After the safety car restart, within like 2 laps, the Mercedes had like a 7-second advantage over P3. Nobody wants to see that again. You know, we want good racing. And just, I don't know, who knows what's true, who knows what's not true with the 26 regs. But I think this tweet from Daniel Valente, at F1 Guy Dan on Twitter, I think this bit's kind of sums up the general thought pretty nicely. The last line here in the tweet: enjoy this season because there's no telling what 2026 will look like. I agree with that statement so much. Enjoy this year. Who knows what 26 is gonna look like? It seems like right now McLaren have a good advantage, you know, kind of as I've spoken about. I mean, they've been, so far this weekend, they've been freaking dominating, honestly. At a track that isn't normally one they're too hot around, if you know what I mean. Especially in recent years. But even though McLaren have the best car, then who knows what could happen throughout the rest of the season. You know, Red Bull started the season as the class of the field last year. And then we had good battles by the end of it, close fights. Constructors title went to the last race. So just that last line here: enjoy this season. There's no telling what 26 will look like. Of course, there is every chance 26 regs could actually end up being quite good. I mean, it's definitely going in a good direction. What they're bringing in next year, in terms of the cars, they're getting a little lighter, they're getting a little smaller. It's not by much, but it's a small step in the right direction, because these cars do need to get smaller and lighter because they've gotten so big and so heavy. But frankly, in terms of the engine side of things, I'm yet to see something positive said. And just a small backtrack, you know, to like a thought I have, like Toto Wolff saying that, you know, that, oh, it would look silly if they cut the 26 PU regs short, and, you know, saying that one team looks to be in good shape. Just, maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I cannot help but feel like that does definitely point towards Mercedes engine having something good for next year, and Mercedes just kind of, they don't want to cut the regulations short because they want to live out that good advantage. I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but whatever, moving on. And there is bag 3 and 4 done. We have something that actually does start to resemble a Formula 1 car now. How cool. On to bag 5 and 6.
The next day.
Right, let's get this thing finished. It's the next day. Oh, this morning, I was looking on Twitter this morning. Right, and I saw a thing that apparently some people were thinking that, like, there were clips were thinking of, oh, Piastri, where did that little wrench go? I dropped a bit, I don't know where it went. I will find that later, it's just a spare bit, it's not important. Apparently some people were thinking that, like, Piastri, oh, he'd sabotaged Norris's qualifying lap, the fuck? Like, I swear to God, some people on F1 Twitter need to go touch grass. Anyway, final thought on just 26 Verstappen thing, then I want to get onto Russell, Tsunoda, and then the rest of the grid, because I haven't spoken about them yet. But final thought, just some thought, that whole Max Red Bull leaving thing. As long as Red Bull can convince him to stay, that is worth giving them a shot for 26, then I can see him staying at Red Bull for 26, but I don't see him at Red Bull beyond that, 2027. You know, I'm placing bets Aston Martin or straight up retirement. You know, I mean, he has a kid on the way. He loves his sim racing. I mean, I think he's expressed interest in like Le Mans or endurance racing sometime. He could go off and do something like that. He said he doesn't want to race in Formula 1. He doesn't want to be racing in Formula 1 when he's Fernando's age. You know, I think he's said that before. So he could go off and race something else. I don't think he'll do the Triple Crown. He's said before he has no interest in racing the Indy 500. And I do believe him. I haven't spoken about George Russell. You know, we'll speak about Yuki Tsunoda first since we just finished up Max Verstappen. Then I'll get to George Russell. Tsunoda, honestly, his start to Red Bull hasn't been that terrible. Honestly, it could have been better, it could have been a lot worse. I need a triangular bit, which is right there, in amongst all of the wheels and shit like that. His start I need more stickers, god damn it. Tsunoda's start definitely could have been better. I think they definitely kind of threw him in at the deep end in Japan. But with Q2, really. He was out on used tires for the first run of Q2 in Japan, and then new on the second. And doing that definitely can work. I mean, that is a Ferrari staple. They do that literally every single freaking race weekend. It's no big deal, it can work, but I kind of think they maybe would have been better giving Tsunoda two fresh tire runs in Q2 if they possibly could have. Maybe they didn't have the tires to do it, or maybe they were just trying to save a new set for Q3, which makes sense. But I don't know. Either way, Japan's behind us now. It's past. And he actually managed to get into Q3 in the other place, in Bahrain. I forgot the name of the racetrack there for a second. That's not the piece I need. I need more fucking... Why is there so many sponsor logos on Formula 1 cars, honestly? He made Q3 and he scored points. The first time the second Red Bull car has scored points since freaking Las Vegas, which was November last year. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 5 months. The second Red Bull car hasn't scored points. I need 7 and 9. So where the hell is 7 and 9? Don't say on opposite sides of 8. This one's 9. I just took off 7. So I need to not drop the piece. I need this piece. Okay, we're fine. We're gonna get this done. And then I'm gonna get this edited. And I'm gonna get this uploaded tomorrow. Or today, when this goes up. It's Tuesday, I'm putting this up Wednesday, and I have no idea how long this video is, quite frankly. When I was editing what I'd filmed already so far last night, it was up to like 32 minutes or something like that. Definitely on the longer side, but I don't know, I guess it's more of a bit of a podcasty type kind of video, I suppose, just chatting away about Formula 1 as I need to try and get that on. There we go. And the side pod is trying to come off once again. But yeah, Tsunoda, not that in a bad start. Could have been a lot better, but I mean, it was what it was to start, you know? I'm gonna put the tires to the side, because I won't need them. This is the only bit of sourcing I'm gonna do. Put the tire stuff to the side, so then I know that's out of the way. And I'm gonna put the front nose cone with that as well. Okay, now what am I looking for? I'm looking for a one with a rounded bit, which I think is this little piece here. And then I need a grabby bit somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere in this big pile of black. I found it. Oh god, what way? I need 2 of each. What way is this going on? Is that going on that way? Yes, this is gonna be attached for the rear wing, I'm guessing. I need to try and find another one. I found one. I need to find a second. Where's the next? Where's this? Again, this is probably why people sort things. Oh, where's there it is. I found it. Panic over. Not that there was any panic to begin with. And this attaches on top of the yellow at the back. Okay, we're fine. We're getting there slowly. And then we need 2 more. Is it that piece? And where's the other one? Where's another one? It's right there. It's literally right there. But yeah, that's Tsunoda covered. Now on to George Russell. Frankly, another candidate for driver of the day simply for the fact that he managed to get the car home. What wasn't working on that car? Like, at one point he just told, oh, the dash might go off. Like, what? How? He just gets randomly told that, oh, the dash might go off, but just looks okay, just keep driving, mate. And I swear his comment on, oh, as long as the steering wheel doesn't fall off, I swear that's a dig at I swear that was a dig towards, what's his name, towards Alonso. And his steering wheel just coming off the car, doing his best impression of that one Top Gear episode when James May had that car. I'm pretty sure it was May. I tweeted about it with a gif of Hammond driving the car. I'm pretty sure it was May's car. And then Hammond drove it and May drove, the wheel just came off. Hopefully someone out there knows the Top Gear episode I'm talking about. I can't remember the episode name, but whatever, what episode it is rather. But yeah, fucking while we're on Aston Martin, holy shit, they were abysmal. It's the one thing I do find quite fun. I saw someone post about it on Twitter earlier. It was like, oh, Max is No, it wasn't Twitter, it was Instagram. Everyone's like Max to Aston Martin. Meanwhile, Aston Martin are way down the order. They need to get they need to get their crap together before they can convince Max to go drive for them, I think. But they were abysmal, quite frankly. They were terrible. But my hopes for Aston Martin weren't too high heading into this season to begin with. And I'm being proven as to why my hopes were not very high. Where's the other piece of that I need? It's right there. And I need the other number 5. I need to make 2 of these. I'm guessing this is maybe meant to be, I think this is like parts of the rear wing. It kind of looks like this might be like rear wing, like end fencings or something along those lines. Yeah. I'm losing my goddamn mind, guys, I swear. I'm fine. I need to get this done. Anyway, what was I talking about? George Russell managed to get the car home despite literally everything quitting on him. What was working on that car? What wasn't working? Not much, clearly. It was freaking falling apart. He managed to hold on. He's had a brilliant start to the season. Really, a brilliant start. 3 podiums from the first 4 races. He's getting the most out of that Mercedes car. He's getting everything out of it that he possibly can get. And really, that's all you can ask of him to do. You know, when there's one team that's been the team to beat, then you can really just do the most you can do. When you don't quite have the car, that's not the piece I need. I need one in the other direction. And he is getting the most out of it. More feckin' sponsor logos. How many sponsor logos need to be on this freaking car? Honestly. But no, I can see why, as the kind of tweet I showed earlier in the video kind of said that George Russell is, rumor is he'll be getting an extension. Take what you see on Twitter for what you will. But honestly, if he gets the extension, he deserves it. You know, I don't see why he wouldn't get an extension, because he's driving to a level that I don't see why Mercedes would replace him, or get rid of him rather. I need number 2. There's number 2. Yeah, this is definitely bits for the rear wing, because this V-Power here is a rear wing sponsor. It's on the rear wing. I'm fairly confident of that. That's going on here somewhere. Somehow. It's going on like that, and then I need to do another one of these. Okay, BRB. Yeah, this is a rear wing. This is definitely part of the rear wing. But yeah, we've spoken Mercedes, we've spoken Russell, we've spoken everything else. We've touched on Aston Martin there. On to the rest of the midfield. Alpine finally have points on the board. Like, imagine telling someone a year ago that Pierre Gasly would hold up Max Verstappen for quite a while in that race. Again, wouldn't believe it. But Alpine finally managed to get on the board. That's the piece I need. That goes on there. This goes on the lower part. Then there's a circular bit. Goes into the... It goes above the rear light. That is part of the rear wing. It is rear wing, because that's the rear. That's not the rear. That is the rear light. That's the that's the bit that sticks up above it. And then you stick it onto the arse end of the car somehow. You stick it onto these little bits at the end. Make sure I don't knock anything off again. Bingo! We have part of our rear wing on the car. It looks even more like an F1 car now. We're getting there. We have... Wait, what am I putting on? Where am I putting it? I need this bit here. This attaches onto here. And then I need... Is this the swooping bit I need? I think that might be the swooping bit I need. It is the swooping bit I need. It has a little piece of Lego stuck to it. How many more feckin' stickers do I have to put on after this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stickers more. How many sponsor logos are on this thing? I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't look forward to doing the McLaren one of this, because they have a lot of sponsors. I'm pretty sure like McLaren have the biggest volume of sponsors. Some teams go for like big money sponsors. McLaren, I'm sure a lot of their sponsors are big money as well, but they accumulate just a lot of sponsors, you know? It is accumulate sponsors. We have a completed rear wing. It doesn't open for DRS, but it can flap up completely. That would definitely reduce the drag. Or not increase the drag, sorry, and not reduce that. Imagine a Formula 1 car just had the rear wing like that for Monaco. Just a complete barn. This is the most barn door of barn door rear wings. And it's also just not attached to the rest of the rear wing. But hey ho, we move on to the next step, which involves a little... What piece is that? Oh yeah, that's the DRS thing. This piece attaches onto the rear thing here. There we go. That looks a little more realistic now as a Formula 1 car. This needs to go through the front because that will hold on the rear with the front wheels. And you can't get very far in a Formula 1 car without wheels. Very important thing there. You need wheels to be able to drive a Formula 1 car. Okay, front wing. We need to build the front wing of this thing so it might actually be able to have some front downforce. Or else you're not going to be getting very far except for driving straight off the fucking track because it won't turn. I need 2 bits. I need this and this, which plops right onto the end. We need a square light grey, then we need a half circle thingy, half whatever it is. It's whatever this thing is right here. And how that attaches onto the other end, on the circle end. But Alpine, finally off the ground. Sauber are still Sauber. Haas. I wanted to speak about Haas. Again, both drivers candidates for driver of the day in Bahrain. Ollie Behrman from last to points, last to 10th, and how freaking wholesome was that on the radio at the end of the race? His dad and his brother coming on to congratulate him on the radio. That was so freaking wholesome. And then Ocon from crashing in Q2 to 8th place, he finished in. What a drive from the two Haas boys. I'm pretty sure I predicted that Haas would finish in 5th at the end of this season. I mean, they're currently in 5th place. Doesn't mean that's where they'll be come the end of the season, because it's a very long season ahead. But, I mean, hey, there's always a chance. It was a bold prediction of mine, admittedly. Very bold. That's not the piece I need. I need this piece. But there's always a chance it might happen. You never know what might happen in this weird, wonderful, wacky world of Formula 1 that we all seem to be fascinated by. Who knew you could be so you could end up being so fascinated by watching 20 men driving around in oddly shaped circles for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Of course, there's a lot more to it. The driving around in circles is only part of it. When it comes to Formula 1, like, that's part of it, like a third of it is the driving and everything that goes into that. Then another third is just memes, pulling the piss and shits and giggles. And then the remaining third is bitching, whining and moaning to the bosses about your rivals. Oh, he did this, he did that, I think he's breaking the rules. Everything like that. What do I need? I need another one of them circle pieces. Which is right here. That goes on just before that circle piece. And then I need another 2 with a 1 in the middle. A 2 with a 1 in the middle. Where is it? Oh god, why am I not seeing this? It's probably right in front of me. Probably right in front of me. Right in front of my eyes, and I can't see it. It was right in front of... I found it. Right in front of my eyes. I cannot tell you how many times I've done that when building Lego models. I've been looking for a piece, and it's been right in front of me feckin' eyes. We need the nose cone, finally, to go on this bad boy. It goes on right there like that, and then we need the little front nose, which I'm gonna guess is that one, with the Ferrari logo on it. And there we go. I'm glad we don't have to put on all those little logos there. Don't scar those everywhere. I'm glad we don't have to put on all those little logos. I'm very glad we don't have to do that, because that would be a freaking nightmare to do. What's the next step? The next step entails getting 2 little bits that I'm gonna guess this is one of and this is another one, and more fucking stickers. 24 for both of them. Make sure I actually put this on the right way and decently straight would be nice. None of them will be perfectly straight or centered, but I mean decently so would be somewhat satisfactory, quite frankly. That would be very much preferred. As I said, I don't care if it's completely straight, but nothing sticking over the edge and decently straight would be enough. That'll be perfectly fine, perfectly satisfactory. That's perfectly satisfactory to me. And they go on innermost. They go on right there on the innermost. Helps if I try and put it on the right way. And then these attach on to the bottom of those for another piece of the front wing. There we go. There's the other one that goes onto the other side. And more freaking stickers. That's the one thing I don't like about these models. The amount of stickers you've put on. Like, I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark and say we've probably all played with Lego at some point. Be it when you were a kid and you maybe haven't played for a while, or maybe literally yesterday, because you're never too old for Lego. That's the one thing to remember, you know? If you have someone in your life, you need to get a present for them, but you don't know what to get them. If you think they might enjoy a Lego model, why not? You're never too old for Lego. You know, I mean, maybe they're into cars, get them a car model. If they like flowers, Lego has flowers. If they're a cat person, get them that cat model. You know, that black and white tuxedo cat Lego model? And if they actually have a black and white tuxedo cat, then that might be a very fitting present, actually. I would love to get that Lego model sometime, that black and white cat. I mean, I am more of a dog person than a cat person, but that Lego model looks pretty freaking cool. Anyway, I got on a complete tangent there. But yeah, I think that's about all I want to talk about with the current crop of F1. Just a note, one last note on 26. Cadillac, I keep on forgetting they're coming in. Who do you guys think is gonna be driving for them? There's been like word of Sergio Perez maybe being involved. It would be kind of cool to see him come back, and he could be a pretty good shout for Cadillac to go for, because he is still, despite how everything went at Red Bull, he is a decent midfield driver. And he was always good with Force India. He was good with Sauber. He could be a pretty good shout for Cadillac to go for, to sign. There's always word of Colton Herta maybe driving for them. I'm pretty sure once Valtteri Bottas' name mentioned. Where is the piece I'm looking for? Oh, there's meant to be a triangular bit. There's two triangular bits. That'll do, and I need to put another sticker on there. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see Sergio Perez in one of them seats. Who do you think they're going to go for? And this attaches on. We have almost a full front wing. So I should have done the other one first, so this would have perfectly resembled Leclerc's front wing in China. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing the next one now. Yep, I'm doing the next one now. But we need to do the other side is basically the same thing but flipped 180. There's the piece, there's the piece, there's the piece. Only 4 more stickers after this. No, other hand. Should be fun. Left hand. Putting this on with my left hand. I'm right-handed. That went on a lot easier than I thought it would. Hang on, yes, I'm taking that off again. Because here we see the Ferrari front wing that kind of perfectly resembled Leclerc's front wing in China. That somehow still made him be quite quick. It's got disqualified in the end, which was a bugger, but whatever. We have a completed front wing. And I'm guessing we're going to be sticking that almost right on the car, but not before we put on the final couple of bits, and that leads to more freaking stickers. Why did they have us put, why was it this that goes through it if they're gonna just take it out and put it back on? I swear that there's a few steps ago of putting that in. Did I imagine that and just do that willy-nilly? No, it told you to put it on. Oh no, I don't think it told you to put it right the way through. Okay, yeah, it didn't tell you to put it right the way through. You know, we're just gonna leave that aside and not put that in until I get the last of this done. Or until the last of the front wing on. Sticker is which one is which. That will need number 22. I need another one of them. Where is the other one? And this one will be 26. There we are. Okay, after these two we have 4 more. Which one did I just took off? 22. That's this little bit. We're nearly there. We almost have a completed Formula 1 car. But elsewhere, Formula E. I want to just have a little quick chat about Formula E. I don't know how many people watch Formula E. I do watch it. Formula E, first of all, am I the only one who's just not really a massive fan of these peloton style races that seem to be becoming a bit of a feature sometimes? Like Miami, you know, that was a bit of a peloton style race. It kind of, the racing just isn't as good at those peloton style races in my opinion. You know, because you have, everybody's just trying to conserve energy to try and make it to the end of the race. And then it just leads to cars being absolutely everywhere and just I don't know, I'm not a massive fan of the Peloton style races. I'm not a massive fan of the freaking calendar at the start of this season. Honestly, who designed that? I get it, you know, like this time of year, beginning of the year, maybe not the easiest time of year to schedule races for, but at a time when there's not much motorsport on for the major motorsport series, you know, like you have, I don't know why I'm putting two of these on top of each other, but the time here when like a lot of the major series aren't running, you know, Formula 1 doesn't start till March, IndyCar doesn't start till March, WEC doesn't start till March, NASCAR starts in February. And Formula E traditionally starts in January. It started in December last year, the new season. But you know, it's kind of like they could have kind of taken that chance in like January, at a time when not much more else is going on with major motorsport series. It's really just the summer series that are on, and just kind of have the attention on them. But then no, they went race month break, double header 2-month break, and then a race, and then the race come a little bit more thick and fast. A little bit being the main wording there. Also, just slightly back to Formula 1, has anybody else noticed that every single race so far this year has been won by the pole sitter? Even the sprint race we've had was won by the pole sitter. And if you want to get a race where the guy who started, where the last time we had a race where the guy who started on pole didn't win was Qatar, and the guy who qualified P1 didn't win was Brazil. I mean, yeah, I make that specification because, I mean, Qatar, Max did qualify P1. Even if he didn't finish there, he did qualify P1. It's become a bit of a qualifying formula. You know, for qualifying has become that much more important. I put that on the wrong end. On the wrong side, that's meant to go underneath. Like, it become like a qualifying formula. I think it was Fred Vasseur that said that. That's kind of showing how, like, difficult it is to get some passes in. You know, like, Max Verstappen, it took him ages to get past an Alpine. Yes, that Red Bull was didn't look very fun to drive. Or it didn't sound like it was fun to drive. I'm pretty sure the interviewers after the race would have been better off asking him, right, Max, what wasn't wrong with your car today? Instead of asking, Max, what went wrong out there? What happened? Asking, right, okay, what wasn't wrong with your car today? Would have been a much better question. This goes on there. Nice. We're nearly there. We are nearly there. Now we need to put the wing mirrors on, which these wing mirrors really look like tiny little spoons. I do not know how well you can see that. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. Camera, which is literally my phone. It looks like little spoons, but I was right. Those little grippy bits I put on earlier are for that's not straight. Now it's straight. That looks so much better. They are for the wing mirrors. That makes total sense. Then we need to put the halo on. Why did they give us 3 wing mirrors? We only have 2 wing mirror spots. And arguably, the wing mirror is one of the most useless things on a Formula 1 car. Like, if you had to get rid of something off of a Formula 1 car, the wing mirror would probably be pretty high on that list. And then we need 2 of these, and we need this pole, which will be the halo. These go 1 on either side. I'm gonna guess there's something that sticks in the hole there, and I'm gonna guess it might be that wrench looking thing that I have sitting on my desk, the red looking little wrench. Is that what goes there? The wrench is important. The wrench does matter. Okay, but this attaches on. And I try not to pull the thing off the model as we bend the halo around. And then we're going to attach this on, which then attaches down to hold the halo down in place. Kind of. You can still bring it up. Okay, yeah. It's a Formula 1 car. It's just missing some tires. And the whatever the hell you want to call these things. Okay, we're nearly there. We are nearly there. We've done that. I think now it's just tires, and there's 2 more fucking sponsor logos. We're nearly there. What am I building now? Why are these pages stuck together? Ah, the T-cam. I'm building the T-cam, I think it looks like. What was I doing? What am I doing? We're nearly there. We need these 2 red bits, which we stack on top of each other. We need this little thing. We have a yellow flat circle. There's a lot of little yellow things there. That then goes on, it sticks in there. We need this little bugger that then holds this thing, which will resemble the T-cam, and then it somehow, I don't think I quite, what do you mean that T-cam just holds in by freaking sheer will? It doesn't clip into anything, it just holds in by freaking hope. The triangular bits. Okay, sure, I'm not gonna question it. I'm not gonna question the logic of it, I'm not gonna question it. But now we need these little bits. We need these. We need both of them. But closing thoughts as I finish this up on Formula One. Could be McLaren's year. Very well could be. But as I said, long season ahead. You know, it was looking like Red Bull's year at the start of last year. Look how that happened. Look how that ended. As I said, as I've said before, we have that flexi wing technical directive thingy coming in at Spain. Could that have an effect? We'll have to wait and see. Can anybody else get their shit together and catch them? Can Mercedes actually keep up what they've shown in the beginning of this season and actually being decent? Can Ferrari actually get their crap together? Can Red Bull get their crap together? Can anybody stop it from being McLaren's year? There's every chance that it could, you know, it's really a case of just wait a little bit longer, I think, and we'll get a bit of a good idea of, okay, yeah, they're not gonna catch. Because things changed last year, you know, McLaren were 4th best at the start of the year. Why can't I get this on? And then they ended with the best car. Arguably, they should have won more races last year, but hey ho, here we go. Why can't I get this fucking sticker on? It's the last one as well. Oh my god. Good enough. How is this going on? These stick on there. And then I think the last thing is to put the wheels on. We need the bigger wheels first. We need the rear wheels to go on first, apparently. Oh no, that's why there's so many little yellow bits, is to help attach the rear wheels on, the wheel covers on. That makes a lot more sense than whatever the hell I was just doing. We need another wheel cover. I have no nails. That other wheel, that goes on. We're nearly there. How would you go in? There we go, it went in. I have no nails. My god. Okay. Front wheel 1, front wheel 2, and once we get these bad boys on, I think we'll be done. Also, I just want to point out here on this page, page 96, it's going off the bottom of the page. I think once we get these on, we're done. Yep, rear wheels on, thing in, and then we're done. Start the rear, work our way forward. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hang on. I think these need to be, no, yes. I think I put one of these on wrong. No, yes. What? I've done something wrong here. I've done something wrong on this corner, and you're gonna have to give me a couple minutes to figure this out. Be right back while I figure out what I've done wrong here.
A few moments later.
I see what I did wrong. I've got it, guys. Don't worry. I was bound to screw something up.
One eternity later.
We're good. I got it. I don't even know what those bits do. Beats me, but I fucking got it eventually. I swear I jinxed myself by mentioning about how I screwed up something on the rear wing of the McLaren when I built that a couple months back. But finally, front wheel 1, and finally the final piece is on, and we have built the SF24. I cannot fault the model. Except for the 5 million stickers, I can fault that. Where's the Lego guy? He's still in the box. I need to find that wrench I dropped when I opened the bloody box. I feel like if I turn his hands 190 degrees, it might go in a little better. And I'm dropping things again. There we go. His head is above the halo. That halo is doing nothing. That halo is doing the square root eject shit. And that, ladies and gents, is the SF24 built whilst yapping on about something about motorsport for I don't even know how long. Do you have any of these Lego models? If so, which ones have you built? Which ones do you have? Which ones have you built? Not even just the Formula 1 ones that were released this year. Any of the ones that have been released before. The Lego Technic, Mercedes, the MCL60. That is right here, that I've also still broken pieces off of. Or, you know, there's a MP4 4, I think it was also released last year. Or have you built any other Lego cars? And I'm gonna be honest on this, one of these models is not like the other. I'll give you one guess as to which one it is. Anyway, with that being said, Lego model done. What's your thoughts on anything I've yabbered on about in this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'm gonna go find that wrench I dropped somewhere on my floor. Oh, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. I've found the wrench.